Hello, everyone. Glad to be back with you guys with Channing. We're going to talk about Quant Multi-Asset Unified Ledger, which is scalable to millions. Plus, we happen to have a Project Rialto update. So do us a favor, smash that like if you haven't done so already. If you're new, hopefully you will earn your subscription. Before we jump into the material, the Decent Wallet. It helps benefit the channel. If managing your crypto feels like solving a puzzle, it's time to switch to Decent Wallet. Just a few taps, you can manage, track, and secure your crypto with unmatched ease. And here's the best part. Grab your Decent Wallet at a discounted price by using the referral link below. Don't miss out on making your crypto experience smoother and more secure. Welcome back. Let's jump into this outline and why it matters. First thing gonna pull up on your screen is this right here. And basically, it's the findings. Yes, we mentioned Oracle quite a bit, but guess what? Sometimes you need to see some things that aren't shared all over X and other popular news publications. Is this specifically from Oracle? In the findings from the clipping from Quant Papa, Oracle Database World at Cloud World. On the live stream the other night, they talked a lot about IBM and cloud and IBM and this thing called IBM X. But whatever the case be, multi-asset unified ledger approach for fintech scalable to millions of users. That, again, is a big deal. Yes, it was shared from September, but everything came into fruition in regards to Oracle, even though we've been talking about this research for quite some time now. In the community Telegram, you see some of this. Gilbert Verdian, interacting with the Quant community. So Gilbert says, our mission is to bring enterprises together with millions of their customers to blockchain and transact on chain. It hasn't changed since Quant started back in 2015. Another thing I want to share is this. Gilbert Verdian talks about this also on the Telegram. He says, we set standards co-developed by peers, academia, and industry, which are used by the whole industry. Started with ISO and then IETF, and still more ongoing. If you're new to the channel, IETF means Internet Engineering Task Force. As an industry, we all moved on from using proprietary technologies and protocols in the 1990s because of the cost, issues, and challenges industry had from this approach in the 70s and the 80s. Enterprises and decision makers are wise since then and only deal with industry-wide developed and adopted technologies. I'm going to leave this up on the screen for just a brief moment. I do want to get your takeaway on this before we get further into it, because Chang, the way I look at it is BTC, I kind of look at that as being the technology that's going to be left behind. I mean, at this point, it's just like investing into the mother of all Dino coins. Some people say that Quant's a Dino coin, XRP and the X's and so on. But if you're going to leave the technology from the 90s and 70s and 80s, well, the reference to the 70s, brother, talking about the coexistence period of ISO 222 and MT messaging with Swift coming to an end. I think, if anything, Gilbert Verdian realizes that we have to leave that behind. We have to enter into the next era, which is Web3. We're at 2.5, give or take, right now. Just briefly, your thoughts before we kick it into the next part of what we have.
Yes, absolutely. That transition from old tech into a new technology. It's just like that's the reason why you have the IETF and the Secure Asset Transfer Protocol, why that's so important. You have things like the RLN and why that's so important. You have all of these CBDC trials and why that's so important. It's because it is ushering into the new system while it's letting the old system gracefully bow out, because it's exactly what it is. As the technology continues to advance, it will eventually, make it obsolete to a certain extent. That's why November 2022 is so important, because that coexisting period of ISO TC 307 and that, I believe it's MX or MT messaging system. That's the reason why that date is so important. Just like, okay, we're going to now retire the old system so we can now be up and running on the new ISO standards, so we can all be in one accord harmoniously with the capabilities of sending money cross border or within the same jurisdiction instantly. And here is the messaging system to support that technology.
Yes, absolutely. We have to reference these things because it does have significance. A lot of us are hoping and praying for some significant price action, but for some of us also, maybe we haven't hit all our goals as far as the accumulation phase. But, you know, if you study 4-year cycles and so on, it seems as though that these phases, well, is it really an accumulation phase at this point? On some tokens, it is. Maybe it is really with Q&T still. So I consider it a blessing in disguise, but where the case be, we're going to jump more into what we have. Next part we're going to show up on your screen is this, again, from Telegram. Once again, from Gilbert Verdian. Why point it out? Well, he goes into detail about how specifically there has been so many proprietary, quote, standards and tech from vendors come and gone. For example, DEC, DEC Net, VAX, X25, Wang, RACF, Token Ring, Novel, and of course IPX/SPX. It's these mainframes. The list goes on and will still continue to grow. They will. Quant is going to grow, but yeah, the list, I should say, will continue to grow. So I pull up more about this. I want to introduce this particular person, Lorenzo Cremonia. Why point out some of these people? Well, in the clipping for Quant Papa, and again, apology to being blurry, it's taken from a cell phone. This person states, we are happy to work with Quant on making digital assets a reality. These are exciting times ahead. I'm going to get into who this person is and why we point him out in these deep dives. So pull up more information for you. I want you to understand from the clipping, this guy, this is experience. With who, though? Well, Director, Outbound Product Management. And like it says, from May 2005 to present, roughly about 19 years and 10 months, so almost 20 years, he's a member of the High Availability Technologies Product Development Group with Oracle. And this includes Oracle Tuxedo, Oracle Blockchain Platform, the OBP, which we understand that tied directly to Quant, and Oracle Transaction Manager for microservices, which is called MicroTX. He helped define the market strategy, pricing, initial target markets for adoption. He directed product launches for Oracle Tuxedo, includes up-to-date versions of Tuxedo and all these particular projects. But you have to keep in mind, supported field sales activities in some of Oracle's largest accounts. Think about that, okay? And that was part of the Fortune 150. As we know, Oracle is actually part of the Fortune 100. Some key achievements to point out in that regard. And I'll jump down to this part. It's the whole thing of how he was responsible for initial market assessment and developing of programs around what is referred to as track and trace, provenance, sustainability, product lifecycle, sourcing, transportation, and logistics. So many people never include Quant part of the supply chain list of tokens. They definitely should. You also see tokenization, fungible, non-fungible, but it's what he worked with and who he worked on, I should say, as far as projects. He developed successful mainframe rehosting programs in Europe, Middle East, and Africa. The other night I talked about IBM. Does this person have a connection to IBM? The answer is yes. Managing of marketing plans, customer facing activities to erode IBM's mainframe business. And the bottom part, delivering a focus to sales, presentations, etc., etc. So I pull up more about this person, Lorenzo Cremonia. Says one of the most recent best things to happen to financial service institutions since the creation of the greenback is Oracle Blockchain Platform Digital Assets Edition will help the banks create new opportunities to serve clients, both private and other institutions, taking advantage of all the benefits a solid blockchain foundation provides. And we shared this before because it's the highlight of introducing Oracle's digital assets platform. So pull up another screen Well, Gilbert Verdian likes it. Yeah, it's written in Spanish, but wherever the case be, you know, look what we have, because this links us to this person, Raphael Auer. Instant global payments, securely settled in the safest form of money. What money? Well, this leads us to Project Rialto, improving instant cross border payments using central bank money settlement. You see towards the bottom of February 2025 in the report, and you see Banque de France, which is the oversight of the BIS, and you even see the Monetary Authority of Singapore, and of course, Banca d'Italia, which is the central bank of Italy. Now, a lot of times when you mention Italy, people think of Algorand, but this is Quant we're talking about here. Let's jump into this part. I want you guys to see this. This one mentions specifically cross ledger interoperability and unified ledger architecture, combining Oracle blockchain platform of X slash OpenAI XA standards with two-phase commit, which is referred to as 2PC, and powerful orchestration provided by Quant Network. So many of you guys want to say Quant Network and not necessarily ISO TC 307, but it's the same thing for the most part, right? This enables cross-ledger operations and workflows required to implement a unified ledger architecture. Again, back to that statement about a unified ledger. This will help overcome a blockchain fragmentation, as referenced by Augustine Carstens recently, as of last October, when he said no to the BRICS nations. And this part, it's the preserving of singleness of money. That was another thing that Augustine Carstens was talking about. So there's this talk about overledger, and there's this talk about atomic settlement. Let's hop to the part about, for example, bridging the gap between blockchain and digital assets. This will ensure that CBDCs, deposit tokens, and tokenized securities can seamlessly integrate with existing banking infrastructure and, of course, payment rails. Now, this part about existing infrastructure and payment rails, well, think about it. This is where the RSN comes involved. The rails would be what? Your Ripple XRPs to settle with. QNT comes involved in regards to the overledger, blockchain agnostic, but the token will be used for the subscription-based model. Everybody will have to hold a little bit of QNT on their books if they want to solve interoperability. Well, start multiplying that by millions of Oracle accounts. And again, Oracle is just the tip of the iceberg, as Tokenizer has pointed out. Jump into a little bit more about this before I kick it over to Channing. Is this bottom part, which states that with Overledger's multi-chain connectivity and transaction orchestration that is certified, by the way, to work with Oracle Blockchain Platform Digital Assets Edition, organizations can operate within, and it gets cut off, but it's the ecosystem. And again, back to the citation. This is literally, everybody, from the BIS. And the reference dates all the way back to November 2023. By who? Augustine Carstens. This is when the concept of the Finternet came into fruition. And does it mention singleness of money? It does. It mentions it twice. Back to the whole thing of two-tier system. Back to the whole thing of like what's deposited. What exactly is deposited? It mentions, for example, commercial bank money ensures that a dollar, euro, or won deposited to one's bank equals the exact amount of the same currency in another bank, in the form of cash at any ATM. If you think about it, Bitcoin was designed to be a peer-to-peer cash system. If anything, I think Q&T is literally innovated and took it to the next level, to say the least. This crucial feature, termed the singleness of money, was highlighted by Tommaso Padoa Schioppa in a speech in Seoul almost 20 years ago. All right, this last part before I kick it over to Channing. Finally, by preserving the current two-tiered monetary system, tokenized deposits preserve, I should say, the singleness of money, unlike alternatives such as stablecoins. This is where Quant will shine. And it will shine big time because guess what? They are part of a thing that's referred to as programmable money. So, with that being shown and presented to you guys, we want to know what you think in regards to all this. And if anything, your key takeaway before we wrap things up, Mr. Channing Harrell.
It's no coincidence that they all keep saying the singleness of money, the singleness of money. You have Oracle, the singleness of money. You have the BIS, the singleness of money. You have Quant Network, even on their site, the singleness of money. It's because it's just that, the unified ledger, over ledger, the unified ledger. I mean, it's in the name. Okay, you have just on Oracle side alone, right? We've already went over that they have 430,000 customers, but they have 7+ million active daily users. Think about what that is as far as ensuring that all of those 7 million plus daily users have a seamless integration and interaction with each other, no matter where they are in the world. What do they need? They need that unified ledger so that they can have the process of the singleness of money. That's why things like SATP is so important. That's why, you know, TC307 is so important. It's because it is literally the connecting things globally so that it's all under one umbrella operating harmoniously. Okay? Understand what Quant Network is doing and what their technology that they're providing for these multinational corporations, central banks, governments, and now publicly being named in articles like the thing that you were just reading that literally says Overledger. It doesn't say TC307. It doesn't say just the word interoperability. It literally says Overledger. It is starting to tell the world, hey, this technology is not a hope or a dream. It actually exists, and we're now integrated into our processes so that our 7 million plus users, and again, that's just one client, can actually process and have global harmonization of their processes daily. Think about that. Think about what that means for Overledger moving forward when it's not just Oracle, but it's Toyota, and then it's Honda and Kia, and then it's this person and that person, and so forth and so on. Is this central bank and that central bank? Is this government and that government? Think about what that's going to mean for the transactional value moving through Overledger. And that's just in one arena, the singleness of money, one arena. We ain't even talking about the supply chain. We're not talking about even tokenizing these different assets and securities. Think about the process, think about the future that is literally being shown to us. And if you are focusing in on the things that Gilbert Burdian is putting down, because he's leaving us breadcrumbs, you guys, he truly, truly is. If we're focusing in and understanding what Overledger is and understanding how powerful the QNT token is going to be once these processes continue to get rolled out. I can't wait to see Oracle Blockchain Solutions platform in a year. I can wait to see it in 2 years, because their customers are going to start tapping into these things because they won't have a choice, because this is what the world is moving towards.
There's so many things, so many different connections here, to say the least, but we thought we'd bring this concept to you where you can see some actual things, right? You know, some screenshots, to say the least, from pamphlets. What pamphlet we're talking about? Literally from Oracle. You know, think about that. Quant Multi-Asset Unified Ledger, scalable to millions plus, right? What about when they scale that up to maybe over 1 billion plus? Think about that in itself. Yeah, there's roughly about 8 billion people in this world, but if we have something that really truly is API orchestration for everything that you can think of, you know, the new internet, the Web3, I think that's a big deal moving forward. So with that said, do us a solid if you listen to the entire outline and simply type in this key term into the comments, and that is multi-asset, or you can type in multi-asset, and we'll know that you listen to the entire outline. On behalf of myself and Shani, know what you have, know why you hold it. The research trumps FUD 110%. And with that also said, Shani, you got something you want to tell everybody?
Y'all already know. Peace out.
Peace out, everybody. We'll see you on the next one.